Yeah, we voted for Trump in 2016, 2020, and 2024. We live in the Florida Panhandle, and we thought that this would be good for our business, but we're finding out now that we were wrong, and I want to publicly say that we are regretting our votes at this point. My husband and me own a construction company, and we literally do not have workers anymore. Most of our workers are from Mexico, and they're good, hard workers. I talked to a few of them, and they said they were just too scared to come back to work because of all the raids. Our construction company is likely to go out of business now, and we don't know what we're going to do, but we're never voting for a Republican again. Ron DeSantis and Trump have been passing laws that negatively affect our business, and I just want to say that I'm sorry for voting for him. I grew up Republican, and it's all I've ever known, but now I can see that me and my whole family have been very wrong about this. So we hope that 2026 comes and we can take back the House and the Senate and stop him from what he's doing. There's a special election coming up in Matt Gaetz's district, and we're going to do everything we can to advocate for a Democrat taking that seat.
I was a Trump supporter. I don't know how long I can keep doing this. I have a construction company, and not a fucking thing is getting done. This is what I get. This is what I fucking get. Nothing but white boys. It takes 4 days to do a one-day job. I might have fucked up.
Do you guys remember when I said this a couple weeks ago? And in just a few months, mark my words, but Ron DeSantis and his government will be begging the immigrant workers to come back. To nobody's surprise, it's already happening. Check this out.
This bill is 100% supposed to scare you. We are losing employees. They're already starting to move to Georgia and other states. I'm a farmer, and the farmers are mad as hell. It's urgent that you talk to all your people and convince them that you have resources, state representatives, and other people that can explain the bill to you.
That was a meeting of Florida lawmakers, and as you can tell, they're already begging for immigrant workers to come back. I know I originally said that it was going to be months before they start begging, but it's only been weeks. They didn't even last a whole month. But it's just crazy to me, like, what did they think was going to happen? It's not rocket science. You play stupid games, you get stupid prizes. 2 + 2 = 4. Common sense is not very common. What did they think was going to happen? And it's only going to get worse from here. Do you guys remember this lady? Well, I'm trying not to laugh. This is her now.
It's been happening frequently at the 333 Miami Avenue Federal Court building. Janet Correa's husband was detained this week. According to her immigration lawyer, he has already been placed on expedite removal.
They voted por Donald Trump. Donald Trump deport. You heard that right, guys. Janet Correa, the famous Trump singing lady, has had her husband detained by ICE. And not only that, but he got put on expedited removal. They want him out of the US. They don't want him. But of course, we've been telling them this all along. They don't want you, bro. Also, do you remember the time I went viral because I told people to call ICE on Latinos for Trump and the family members of Latinos for Trump? It looks like it's happening, and I couldn't be happier. You reap what you sow, and I stand by what I say. But anyways, play silly games, get silly prizes.
Well. Every American knows that the state of Florida is deep red. Not just red, but red hot politically. Probably Trump's favorite state. And but when you look at what is happening, what Floridians are saying, what the MAGA in Florida is saying, Florida has now become even more red hot. And it's not because of the weather. It's not because they're loving Trump even more, or Trump is really helping them, but because reality is beginning to hit very hard. The very people who cheered the loudest for their favorite president are now watching the economy of their states crumble, and they can't help. They didn't see this coming, but the numbers, the jobs, the pain on the ground is now becoming impossible to ignore. So let's continue watching and listening to what they're saying, and we'll be back.
put your finger down if it took you well over a year to finally convince your family to move to Florida, and you've only been here for 2.5 months, and it's nothing like you thought it was. So now you're about to pack up to go back to Lexington, Kentucky, and your family looks at you like you're stupid.
And the red state of Florida, the people are the most financially distressed right now. Florida's governor and the Republicans are driving Florida into the ground. These people are struggling to pay their bill. Yes, they voted for this administration. This is a little bit of an FAFO. The governor doesn't seem to care.
The cost of living in Florida is absolutely ridiculous, and the pay is not matching up with it, especially for healthcare workers, specifically nurses is who I'm referring to because that's what I know, that's what I do. And the person that a lot of my friends go to for financial advice, because I'm very frugal, I'm very good at budgeting. I love budgeting, I love saving money, I love investing money, I love doing things like this. Can't do it anymore because I literally don't make money.
So this past month, my boyfriend and I cut down on our water usage a great deal. We saved about 500 gallons of water. I want you to guess how much our water bill went down by, though. If you guessed just over $2, you would be correct. That is how much the taxes on stormwater and sewage and everything else that's included in your water bill have gone up, to the point where you saving 500 gallons of water makes no difference, basically. Florida has become so unaffordable, and I really haven't heard anybody talk about how expensive our utilities alone have become in Florida. We've got insurance companies pulling out of Florida because it's more likely that there are natural disasters here now than not. And that's not profitable. Having to pay people to fix their houses isn't profitable, so why be in that state? You know, it's not like that's what insurance is for. And our salaries aren't keeping up with this. Obviously, because why would they? Why would we need more money to survive? We're not even going to get into groceries and the cost of living in general in Florida. Utilities is just scratching the surface. This is one of the many reasons my boyfriend and I are moving to Lisbon in less than a year, because we just can't do it anymore. We can't take it anymore.
Hey, did you know that young people between the ages of 20 and 29 are leaving Florida in record numbers? And it's not because they don't love the sunshine. It's because they can't afford to live here anymore. Between rising rents, sky high homeowners insurance, and wages that don't keep up, they're forcing the young people out. And when they leave, Florida loses its future workforce, its innovation, and its energy.
Florida is learning about the significance of undocumented migration to the United States. They developed laws targeting undocumented migrants, and just like that, all the construction sites are empty.
Well. Florida homeowners nightmare. Now, I don't know if you guys have been told, but in the past 6 months, there's a couple companies that have been filing for bankruptcy. Homeowners construction companies. And the following is Planet Signature Home, Vandervalit, Modern Builders Inc., Division 3 by JP, Seminole in Lake Counties, Sunset Palms Condo Association, which has 267 units. They're also filing for bankruptcy. But why? Why? Because you have homeowners that are walking away from condo association. Back in April, many homeowners with unfinished projects, Pegasus Builders and South Florida Developer, also filed for Chapter 11, listing up to $10 million in debt and assets. You have condo homeowners who are walking away from their property. Between the assessment fees, homeowners insurance, and HOA association fees, they're done. It's cheaper to walk away. You're saying this in the past. The market is going to be impacted in a very huge way, and Florida's going to pay the price.
Tourists are avoiding Florida like it has emotional herpes. Florida tourism is down, beach businesses are dying, and the people are somehow surprised about it. Come to Florida, where the sun burns your skin and the governor burns your identity. It's so politically toxic that even the alligators are switching parties. DeSantis is out here turning Florida into a family-friendly dictatorship. It's like North Korea with Margaritaville decor. He's out here banning books, attacking drag queens, and starting a fight with Mickey Mouse like he's the final boss of the woke Olympics. The man literally lost a fight with Disney. That's like getting beaten up by a piñata. Tourism in Florida has dropped harder than DeSantis' presidential campaign. You remember that? Blink and you missed it. It was like watching a wet sock run for office. The beach bars are empty. Even the piña coladas are asking, is it because I'm fruity? You know things are bad when even retired boomers are thinking of packing up and moving back to New Jersey.
Florida beaches are empty because racism don't pay the bills. Now those beaches and businesses are empty in Florida, and the business owners are scratching their head. They're like, I don't understand what's happening and why this is going on. This is what happens when you build your entire platform on bigotry and fear. When you spend years attacking immigrants, the very people who visit your state, spend money in your hotels, eat at your restaurants, buy your tacky ass beach tiles. Don't act shocked when they stop showing up. And understand, it's not just tourists who aren't coming to Florida. When you squeeze the working class like a lemon, there is no juice left for joy.
Nothing is better than being MAGA. Here in Florida, let me tell you what we're doing. You see, what happened was Ron DeSantis and all the MAGA legislator here, we kicked out all of the immigrant workforce. We made it clear that they weren't welcome here and kicked them out of the state. That's right, even some of us MAGA business owners voted to kick out our own workers, and now we cannot fill the work. Oh, but don't you worry, MAGA's on top of things, because right now our wonderful legislator is debating on loosening the child labor laws here, because our genius MAGA plan is to replace the immigrant workforce with our children, our Florida children. Doesn't that make perfect sense and just sound wonderful? The policy we support is actually detrimental to us, but we pass it anyway. Now all the MAGA youth is going to be doing construction on your house. Doesn't that want to make you buy a house in Florida? It's not going to be insured, and it was built by a 10-year-old. What could go wrong?
You, Donald Trump, from beautiful Clearwater Beach, Florida, out here on the Gulf of Mexico. Donald, how about that No Kings rally? 7 million people showed up. And guess what? Most of them, Donald, look like me, old white people. So maybe you've screwed up so bad, Donald, that you could even turn Florida blue and all the other red states. After all, you did bankrupt casinos 4 times. You know, and I read that other people struggled at that time too, but your profits were 33% less than everybody else's in the area. What's that say about your business acumen, Donald? It's not very good. And then you could screw up the White House itself physically. Knock down part of the East Wing, pay $200 million for a ballroom when everybody's struggling in this country. Boy, Donald, you really do care about everybody.
So apparently people are leaving Florida in droves, like around 500,000 people. That's a lot. Oh, Ron DeSantis, you must be proud. Must be a proud moment for you. Thoughts and tariffs.
So for many years, Florida was always seen, or is always seen, as the golden, child of conservative America. Low taxes, business friendly, good weather, and very loyal to Donald Trump. But beneath the sunshine and the good weather, the storm clouds were quickly forming, and now the storm is here. The storm is hitting. Economically. Now it's no longer about politics and Donald Trump and make America great again. Is the people being hit, the people's pockets being hit very hard. Home insurance is exploding, and some families can't even afford to stay in their own homes anymore. Ironically, small businesses have been closing. Farmers have been filing for bankruptcy. Rent is skyrocketing, and the free state of Florida is now struggling with the freedom it can't afford. And these are the same voters who shouted, "Make America Great Again," with the red hats. And they're now realizing that the so-called greatness has come with a huge price tag that probably they didn't, expect to see. What's really wrong is the Trump's policies, left, right, and center. The immigration crisis has hit Florida the hardest. Farmers are in the deepest of crisis. We have seen farmers plowing back fresh, good quality tomatoes back into the land because they're rotting in the fields. There's nobody to pick the crops. construction, businesses are shut. Construction sites have been left midway, unfinished business, And here is the irony. Many Floridians believe that they were voting to protect, their economy and their freedom. But now they're realizing they voted against their own stability. Unfortunately, the same system that promised to fight the elites ended up protecting the very elites it claimed to oppose at some point. And this is what Americans must know about politicians. They will say anything, they will sell to you any lie as long as they can get your trust, they can get your vote, And even, long-time supporters of this regime, with the conservatives, the far right, are starting to question if the red dream was worth, in the very first place. Florida's economy is showing cracks, crazy cracks. And these cracks are turning into deep fractures right now. And this isn't just about Florida necessarily. It's a warning to every American state that fell for this political showmanship over policy, the slogans. Because slogans, they don't fix your rent. The rallies, the good rallies with many people waving those red flags and red hats, they don't reduce the bills. Blind loyalty, like those with the MAGA supporters, does not help with your bills, does not pay your insurance. What's happening in Florida is a reflection of, the American story right now. People waking up from the illusion and realizing the truth that political identity alone, can protect them from bad leadership. And when Floridians voted for the tough talk, deport immigrants that are taking American jobs, the economic independence, they didn't imagine it would be, it would mean paying triple for insurance, watching their property taxes rise and skyrocket, and seeing the state's cost of living become so unbearable like it is. I don't believe they voted knowing this. There's a lot of political ignorance with MAGA supporters. Like, you wonder how they didn't see this coming. And so here we are. Florida is red hot, but not for the reasons they hoped for, or you'd normally think it's red for. It's burning with regret, economic pain, and political realization. Their favorite president, their favorite candidate, they trusted so much, has now shattered the very foundation of their own state, or their state's economy. And this time, they can't just blame anyone else. They realize that blaming immigrants doesn't hold, because they were told the immigrants are taking their jobs. Now the immigrants were deported, detained, or just don't come out to take the job. So crops are rotting in the farms, construction sites are not going on, businesses are collapsing. The question now is, will they finally see the pattern? The lies, the cycle of political lies, or will history just keep repeating itself under a new slogan for every 4 years to come? I don't know what you think about this. Do share with me what you think in the comment section below. If you have liked this video, then give it a thumbs up, and you can share it as well. And if you're new to the channel, or if you haven't subscribed, then please subscribe to the channel and you will be part of us. So we've come to the end of this video, and I'll see you in the next video.